meant to say this at the beginning, but I'm known for covering some things really well. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I feel like I'm too much of a novice to be an expert, but I'm not at that point, but maybe I am, I don't know. There's a couple things that I cover really well, so people automatically come to me for those. Electronic music I know like the back of my hand because I used to work as a DJ and because I follow it really closely and I'm totally into it. I'm pretty lucky in that because I used to work in nightclubs, I have a lot of contacts from people from before I was a writer. So a lot of the DJs, a lot of the people involved in the LA scene have been my friends since I was like a teenager. So I know where to go. If I kind of see that something's getting big, I mean, I go out a lot, not so much anymore because I work most of the time, but I used to go out a lot, and I try to go out whenever I can. But I go out often enough to see what's going on. I can't believe, like, I have like a lot of beefs with stuff on Craigslist, and I don't recommend it at all. I found a lot of stuff on there, and a lot of it was stuff that was really shady. Once in a while something cool comes up, like once in a while I'll see something where I actually know what the company is and stuff, but I've never gotten calls back from them. I only seem to get calls back from people who want to pay me $8 an hour to run errands for them as like an assistant editor, but basically like, you know, a glorified errand runner for 50 hours a week. I'm not going to do that. That was actually something real that I found out. I say this at the beginning, but I'm known for covering some things really well. I wouldn't say I'm an expert. I feel like I'm too much of a novice to be an expert, but I'm not at that point, but maybe I am, I don't know. There's a couple things that I cover really well, so people automatically come to me for those. Electronic music I know like the back of my hand because I used to work as a DJ and because I follow it really closely and I'm totally into it. So people will contact me to do stories about like, especially like the weirder, like just like the weirder it is, the more I'm probably going to be. Okay, I had this was Coachella, and I think it happened at Ozfest too, but this is a Coachella. I had to interview this band, and the band didn't want to come out of their trailer, and they were being like real pains about it. So the publicist is like, "Why don't you sneak backstage?" I'm like, "How am I going to sneak backstage? There's, you know, all these guards everywhere." So she got me the wristband of this guy named Famous Tony, who actually was famous, but I didn't realize it until afterwards. So she got me his wristband. I snuck in with his wristband. I did the interview. I give the wristband back to Famous Tony, and I start to go out, and I made a wrong turn. So I ended up, and then I almost walked into a guard, and the guard saw I didn't have a wristband, and they kind of like, they put me in the cart, they took my driver's license. I'm like screaming at them, but I'm here to do an interview. They tried to take my tape player and my tape. They drove me all the way out to the front. They were gonna like throw me out, seriously. I'm like screaming at them the whole time, and then finally somebody says, "Well, she says she's a journalist, so maybe we'll just let her back in." And then they started this whole thing about how I claim to be a journalist, and I'm like, I just played you the tape of the interview, and they were just being really, it was actually kind of scary because I didn't know where they were, you know, like they just shoved me in this cart and started driving off. I'm like, you know, what are you guys doing? Nobody would tell me what was going on. They just kept on saying, "You're not supposed to be here, blah, blah, blah." To be said for like the LA-based publications, aside from LA Weekly, like Los Angeles Magazine is really good. There's a lot, I mean, there's a lot of like cheese here too, but there's, you know, there's a lot of good publications, and you don't have to be in the same city when you're freelancing. I mean, if you're going to work for something full-time, then maybe, but do you really want to make that move when you can maybe find something out here? Or even like San Francisco has some good stuff, and that's not a big drive. For me, there's more to cover here. I don't think I'd be able to do what I do here in New York. And there's a lot of competition too. I mean, there's a lot of competition here too. But at least, you know, I'm not going up against every person who graduated like at the top of their class from Yale or Brown or whatever who wants a job as a writer, you know. So, and there's other opportunities here too, because I mean, there's always stuff, you know, the film industry's here, you can always find, you know, freelancing stuff for them. If you want to do like TV or anything like that. I mean, there's a lot. I think there's a lot more opportunity here than there is back east. At least that's what I like to say because I'm from here.